Good afternoon and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers, or CACRAO, and StriveScan. We thank you for joining us this afternoon. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can utilize the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to the presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening through this CACRAO StriveScan partnership, and we encourage you to check out the full list of opportunities on CACRAO's website at cacrao.org. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week after it has been concluded. And I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters so they can begin the session.
Hello everyone, my name is Caleb and I am the transfer and senior counselor here at Southern Wesleyan University. You're welcome to send any questions, as he mentioned, through the Q&A chat at the bottom, and I will try to get to those at the end. To start with, I would like to share a quick video here from our university president.
Hi, this is University President Todd Voss, and I wanted to introduce myself and thank you for your interest in Southern Wesleyan University. Well, while during a pandemic may feel like a really strange time in history to be thinking about college, our experience this fall at Southern Wesleyan has shown our campus to be one of the safest places on the planet to live and learn. We prepared for whatever we had to do to keep our students and employees safe and protected. Our mission is about transformation, character development, and the recognition that college is about more than gaining knowledge or a degree. It is about gaining wisdom and the tools to make a difference in the lives of others. And if you're looking for a fresh start, especially now with so many anxious and pressing aspects of life, college is often considered the best place where a fresh start can occur. But at SWU, you get more than a fresh start. You have a shot at a new you, built around an intentional, God-designed discovery process that zeroes in on your passions, your unique design, and your life calling. All because of the fact that we believe from the outset that it is not about you, it is about God. And when you focus on Him, life becomes extremely vivid, very real, and definitely personal. You realize maybe for the first time in your life that you're part of something big. You're at a place that invests in the discovery of His plan designed specifically for you. You know, that's how warriors roll. Even in the middle of this pandemic, Southern Wesleyan has been moving forward with enthusiasm and big plans. We're celebrating our recent 10-year reaffirmation of accreditation, our first accreditation in nursing, and the development of many new academic programs and majors, from bachelor's degrees to micro-credential options, as well as another master's, this time in counseling, and even a doctoral program in business. SWU has many unique experiential learning opportunities, and let me just share a few. From student-operated businesses on campus to serving in a specifically designed residence hall where select students mentor special needs friends in learning independence and finding employment. Our athletic program with 18 sports brings vibrancy and service to the campus. And unique programs like our One Life Gap Year discipleship option provides a new way to experience your first year in college. How about campus development? Our digital media center located in the campus life building is now complete and is supporting incredible experiential learning for our students in media communications. We're excited about the progress of our expansive mountain bike trail that will be certified for official racing in the whole southeast portion of the United States, as well as our renovation projects on the new Benson School of Business and the completed construction of our donor-funded clubhouse project on our golf driving range. All this to say, you could not have found a better time to look at joining Team SWU. Our mission of impacting the world for Christ, our passion to develop leaders with character and purpose, and our incredible sense of community, all surrounded by innovation and a can-do spirit, is setting Southern Wesleyan apart. Blessings to you on your college search. We are here to help in any way we can.
All right, so now I just want to jump in and go through some of the things that Dr. Voss mentioned. So let me go through our presentation here. So Southern Wesleyan University's admissions motto for this year and the last year is awaken your purpose. And so, like Dr. Voss said, we believe that Southern Wesleyan is a place where you can come and you can discover your vocation and your calling and your purpose. There's three things that we think make Southern Wesleyan unique as an institution. The first one is inventive learning. And so this involves getting your hands dirty, so to speak, in your major, getting hands-on learning, as well as using different means and modes of learning that is separate and from just a traditional lecture style learning. So you can see a couple of examples listed there. One of the big ones is our criminal justice house. Our criminal justice program is our fastest growing program. And our criminal justice house is an old home that was purchased by the university, and it's now got 2 crime labs where the bedrooms used to be. And he's got some old dummies from JCPenney, and he'll set up crime labs there. There's a firing range in the garage. He's got a fingerprint lab where the kitchen used to be. And in the backyard, he sets up the like the obstacle course that the police officers in the area will have to run through. So it's a really inventive way to jump in and to get hands-on learning with your major, and to get to have some tactile experience to put on your resume and to go into a job interview. There's some other things you can see there. Our Blue Hill Coffee and Tea Company is completely student-run. It's got student baristas, student management, and business interns in there, handling everything from hiring to marketing. So lots of ways that you can go ahead and get to get a handle on campus and off campus of really taking ownership of your education. Second is faith-filled community. So Southern Wesleyan believes that we are not just a faithful community, but that we are a community filled with faith, and we take seriously our students' spiritual health and spiritual well-being. And so there's all sorts of things that we do to try to foster that, from chapel to discipleship groups to small groups, so students can meet together in smaller community to help spur each other on in their faith. And the final one is contagious generosity. So we believe that everything that is on our campus is not ours to do with as we please. It ultimately belongs to God. And so there's all sorts of ways that we try to instill that generosity in our students and in our faculty and staff. One of the key ways is that all of our athletic facilities are open to the public, as long as they're not being used for a sporting event or by a team for practice. So our track is frequently filled with people from the community that are walking or running that. The tennis courts are open to the public for use. Our driving range, and that's just one of the ways that we try to give back to our community and to invest in our community. You can see here a list of the different areas of study that we have. This is not the most up-to-date list, but several of these majors now have more concentrations that have been added into them. So to really help students focus in and hone in on what they want to learn. Our top 5 majors are programs: fine arts, things like music, religion, science, biology, chemistry, pre-med, education, and business. Our fastest growing, as I mentioned earlier, is criminal justice. So that's a close 6th program there. Athletics, we are NCAA Division II for athletics. And so if you're not familiar, that means that you can receive scholarship to come play a sport at Southern Wesleyan University. The top part of the list there are the teams that we offer, most of which are men's and women's, with the exception of volleyball is only women's, softball, lacrosse, and then baseball is only men's. We also offer intramural sports. Don't receive scholarship for those, but if you're wanting to be to have an outlet for your to be competitive or to just have some fun, we do offer intramural sports. There's a listing there of some of them: basketball, flag football, volleyball, but they also do all sorts of different intramural competitions like chess or esports, a recent club that they've started, especially in light of the pandemic, and that all falls under our intramurals. Bass fishing, that would all be under intramurals there. Campus life activities, there's things listed here. I already mentioned Blue Hill Coffee and Tea Company. It's a really big part of our campus where students like to hang out and get some homework done, or to work on campus, as I mentioned, and to get some experience. We have our Eno Hammock Park. There's a small listing there of some of the clubs and organizations that we have. We have the honors program, which is a great program for students to actually, as an undergraduate, get to work on original research and produce master's level thesis as an undergraduate. It's really helpful as you're looking to go into maybe other master's programs or right into the job field to say, hey, I have original research, original writing, writing skills that is publishable. So that's a really neat program where our faculty can invest in our students. We have 100 acres of woods that's part of our campus, which we uncreatively call the 100-acre woods. But cut throughout that woods, there are mountain bike trails, walking, hiking trails, and these do meet NCAA standards. So we're hoping that can be that can be eventually be a sport that we can market with NCAA. Right now, it's just a community center, but all the trails are marked, and it's been really popular, especially since everything was shut down during the pandemic, but outdoor recreation was not, and so that has been a really popular place for people to hang out. Spiritual life activities. So as I mentioned, we do really take seriously our students' spiritual health. And so you can see a list here. We do require students to attend chapels. In the past, it's been 23 a semester. This semester, they brought the number down because they're trying to split students up. So I don't know exactly what that will look like in the future, but chapel is a big part of the corporate worship in the way that we help to take care of our students' spiritual health, along with discipleship groups, as I mentioned. Ministry teams is a fun opportunity where students, 2 guys and 2 girls, will travel in a like 15-passenger van that's provided by the university. You'll travel up and down the East Coast, and you will get to you'll get to serve in different camps. There's a small scholarship that's offered for the following year for that, but primarily it's just a great way to get involved and to serve in a sacrificial way over the summer. You can be involved on the backside of chapel in their worship and production, global missions trips, places like Cambodia, been into Russia before to do some educational trips, all sorts of opportunities that we have for our students to really dive deep in their faith. So I have just a little bit of information here about what the admissions requirements are like. So for freshman students, you will be asked to send an application. It's on our website, and that is totally free, and it should not take more than 10 minutes. We don't charge an application fee or anything like that. There's also no essay that's required. There's a couple of short answer. Those are just for us to get to know you as a student a little better, but you don't have to fill those out, or you can fill as much out as you'd like. There is a lifestyle statement on the application that we ask students to agree to. These are behavioral expectations that we have for our students that are an outflow of the beliefs that we have. After that, it'll be a pretty straightforward process. You just submit your high school transcript and then submit any SAT or ACT test scores that you have. Couple of updates that I have about that. We are test optional for the spring 2021 and fall 2021 semester. So you can send in an essay and a resume and any letters of recommendation that you might have in addition or in place of the SAT and ACT test scores. Also, we just recently approved that we will be able to start accepting the CLT exam if anyone has taken that or was thinking about taking that. And then those will be the only 3 things we'll need for admissions: the test score, transcript, and the application. The FAFSA will be how you apply for financial aid in addition to the application. And so you'll just submit that on at the FAFSA website and have that sent over to Southern Wesleyan. As a transfer student, the process is really similar. You'll just submit the application, again, totally free, and then you'll submit any college transcripts that you've been to from any previous universities. So we do have some scholarship and grant opportunities at Southern Wesleyan, and so I'll just spend a little bit of time on this page to try to break this down for you. In-state students, so if you're from the state of South Carolina, those can range anywhere between $2,800 to $6,700 a year, and you're probably familiar with those. Those are the Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows Scholarship. I will mention that these scholarships do require an SAT and or ACT test score. So while you can be admitted to Southern Wesleyan without those scores, you will not be eligible for the state scholarships that are legislated by the state Congress without those scores. There's also the in-state South Carolina tuition grant, $3,300 a year. I think they actually just raised that recently, but that's typically in the past been around $3,300. The Pell Grant is available through the FAFSA for students that have need. That's a federal grant. Institutional academic scholarship. Every student that is admitted to Southern Wesleyan does receive one of these scholarships. It ranges in yearly price from $2,000 to $11,000 a year. And the neat thing about these is they stack on top of anything else that you would receive. So they don't replace anything or anything like that. They stack on top of any of the South Carolina or federal grants that I just mentioned above. We also have something called SWU Fellows. So for in-state South Carolina students, if you are receiving the Palmetto Fellow Scholarship, you will in addition receive a $5,000 scholarship. That would be in addition to your Palmetto Fellows Scholarship and whatever academic scholarship you qualify for on top of that. If you are an in-state student, you can fill out one of our applications for the SWU Fellow In-State Scholarship, which is our full ride, our full ride to Southern Wesleyan, and we award 5 of those every year. If you're an out-of-state student, you can apply and you meet the requirements set by the state of South Carolina for the Palmetto Fellow Scholarship. You can apply for those and we'll give you the additional $5,000 that in-state students are eligible for. And I believe we award 5 of those every year as well. If you're an out-of-state student or if you're an international student, you will receive an additional $2,000 on top of any of the other aid that you receive, just to help make that price point come down a little bit. On the other side of the screen, you can see all sorts of different other options, the Teach grants, a federal or state grant, I can't remember off the top of my head, that's eligible for students that are in a field of educational study, fine arts scholarships. So if you participate in our music ensemble on campus, those are given out just like athletic scholarships. So if you play an instrument or if you're on the worship team or something like that, you can be eligible for scholarship for that. Athletic scholarships, every coach is given a budget every year, and so they determine how those will work. All of these that I'm mentioning stack on top of each other. So just keep that in mind. Donor-funded scholarships, we do have people that donate money to the university and ask that those be allotted as scholarship funds for students. And so there's several of these, around 200 or so. You can be eligible for more than one, and then we just ask students to apply for these scholarships, and then you receive as many as you're eligible to receive. Church matching scholarships. So Southern Wesleyan believes firmly in partnering with the local church, and so we want to partner with your church. If you have one, we'll match up to $1,000 every year from any funds given to you as a scholarship from any denominational church. We give grants and scholarships for Palmetto Boys and Girls State. Those are for South Carolina people. We have Call Me Mister program for minority male education students that we participate in. Campus Challenge is it's like a talent competition on campus that we host. It was virtual this past summer, but you can receive scholarship for playing an instrument, writing. There's all sorts of different categories that you can get scholarships for that. So. And then you can check out our website for a total listing that'll have much more information there, including if you're specifically a Wesleyan student. There's a couple options there as well if you're or coming from a Wesleyan church. The One Life Institute or One Life program is a gap year program that we have here at Southern Wesleyan University. I don't love the term gap year because you're doing a lot within the program, and you actually get 30 college credit throughout the course of the program. So you'll come out with a Southern Wesleyan transcript. All the courses are accredited, and it'll be 30 credit hours. So for you South Carolina people who are trying to maintain like your life scholarship and you have to have 15 hours each semester, 30 for the whole year, this will meet that requirement for you. It's a gap year program or a Christian discipleship program, depending on how you want to look at it. And they are really intentional. They only accept about 30-ish students, half men, half female, and they are really intentional with their curriculum. And they focus on issues like vocation, life calling, things more than just career. They focus on your spiritual health, emotional, physical health, life skills that some students, come out and don't have. They really try to focus on that and really train students up and intentionally prepare them for adulthood afterward. They have a little bit different admissions requirements, but they have an online application for students, free. They ask for some additional supplemental information. You'll still have to send in transcripts or any of the test score or test optional requirements that we have. And then they do require an interview before final acceptance is given. They also travel to Israel every year as part of their curriculum, so that's pretty cool. And they do all sorts of traveling. They have like a 4-week course module. The course is a little longer, but they usually have like a week of lecture and then a week of local travel, then a week of a little farther distance travel, or 2 weeks of travel that ties into whatever the course content is. And then the final week is usually what they call a teach back week. So students are asked to prepare lessons and teach back, because one of the best ways we learn is when we have to actually dive in and learn the topic to teach to somebody else. So dual enrollment, we do have dual enrollment at Southern Wesleyan University, and you can earn your associates. This is a relatively recent development, but you can earn up to 60 college credits. This is open to high school juniors and seniors. It's a credited college credit that'll transfer to most other colleges and universities. And if you're looking to come to Southern Wesleyan after your junior or senior year, it'll plug right in and fit all the genetic requirements there. But it's available online or on campus. Most students do it in the online option, but every course is available online or on campus. And for high school students, it's a 90% discount rate per course. So it comes out to about $115 per credit hour, or $345 per course, which is pretty good for the whole course. $345, and that's a 90% discount if you're a high school junior or senior. There's all sorts of courses offered. Some of the more popular ones are your basics, English, math, history. Southern Wesleyan does require some specific Bible/religion courses as part of our gen ed. So some students, if they're looking to come here, will take those. But there's a complete listing of all the courses we've ever offered dual enrollment. But pretty much you can take just about any course you want there. So finally, here's just some of our contact information. This is the generic email address that's monitored that you can send any emails or inquiries to that you might have. And then that's our main line there, 864-644-5560. We'd love to get in touch with you and answer any questions or concerns or anything that you might have. Also, you can schedule a visit to campus. We are hosting students in person, and we also have a preview day coming up. We also have a lot of virtual options, so a lot of our campus tour material is as a video, and all of our counselors are available for Zoom, one-on-one Zoom or video conferencing if you would like that. And all those options are at www.swu.edu/visit. So we'd love to have you check that out. So if there is any questions here. There is a question, I might have already answered this already, but there is one in the chat asking if we were test optional. Yes, we are test optional for the spring 21 and fall 21 semesters. And the details on that, you want to submit a test score, obviously, and then we do just ask that you submit a essay. We can provide the questions for that, an essay to get a writing sample, and then we will ask for a resume and a couple of letters of recommendation. And then that will all be reviewed for admissions, and then you will still get a scholarship. Typically the scholarship's awarded based on GPA and your test score, but with the test optional, we do have a rubric that we use that would allow us to award you an academic scholarship. Again, that'll stack on top of any of those other scholarships that I mentioned. Any other questions or anything? Feel free to send those down in the Q&A chat there, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. I don't know if I mentioned, but we are located in the town is called Central, South Carolina. It is not in the central part of the state. It's actually in the upstate of South Carolina in the corner, right outside of Clemson. We're literally 5 minutes away from Clemson University in the town of Clemson. So the town is called Central because it's halfway for the railroad. We're 2 hours from Atlanta and 2 hours from Charlotte, almost exact. So there's a question here about some minors. We pretty much have minors. The question specifically about any Bible related topics. Yes, we do have minors in religion, biblical studies, Christian leadership. Pretty much any of our programs are also minor fields. So you can get a minor in just about anything, and they're really a great way. No matter where you go, I recommend doing a minor. It's a really great way to kind of help your elective credits to not be so spread out and random, and just gives you a little extra thing to put on your resume. But short answer is yes. And then you can also see a complete listing of all of our minors. That's listed on our website with our majors. But another question, we do have a major in forensic science. That is also very popular. It's one of the only ones in the state of South Carolina that I'm aware of at the undergraduate level. Very popular, but yes, it is a blending of our the forensic science and the criminal justice are sister programs, but the forensic science is more science heavy. So it's got a lot of biology and chemistry built into it with some of the criminal justice aspects. And yes, it is very popular on campus, and they use a lot of the same facilities that the criminal justice students use as well. The program coordinator for the criminal justice program, he was the lead forensic scientist for Greenville County, which is one of the larger counties here in South Carolina. So he's got a lot of real world experience, and he's got a lot of connections that he helps students get connected with, and really helps them, go on to furthering education if they want, or, jumping on into the workforce. So I will mention I did have a work study that was a forensic science major, and she loved it. And she works in Florida now. She works with a forensic science team in a lab at one of the counties there in Florida. So she had a really good experience. We also have, speaking of the sciences, pre-med is one of our top 5 majors, and we do have an agreement with, I can't remember off the top of my head, one of the VCOM schools here in the area, where they guarantee an interview for 3 or 5 Southern Wesleyan students. So, which has, I wasn't in the pre-med or science field, but as I understand, that's it's a pretty big deal to even just get past to the interview process, and they guarantee interviews for Southern Wesleyan students. So we do have some articulation agreements there with med schools, and so we've had a lot of success with that. You can also do a pre-vet track if you're thinking about going to like a vet school afterward or something like that. So it's not just straight pre-med. And our online, we do have an RN to BSN program that recently just got full accreditation. So that's been pretty popular recently as well. Anything else as far as programs or anything about campus or anything I can help answer for anybody? So we are relatively rural campus, small campus size. It's about 800 students in the on-campus program. And was that about a 17-to-1, 14-to-1 student teacher ratio. So a lot of our students really really love that. And as cheesy as it is, you get kind of the best of both worlds. We got Clemson, as I mentioned, right down the road. And so lots of, you get all the perks of the big college and the big college town. But then you have, the one-on-one relationship with your faculty and your, faculty mentors and advisor. Question about a physician assistant program. I'm not 100% certain about if we specifically have a physician's assistant program, but as far as a field of study, but we do have, as I mentioned, pre-med or any of the sciences would, or exercise science is a really popular one that students will be in that program and they'll get their certification for a physician's assistantship. So probably the closest would be exercise science, but I don't think it's called physician's assistant. Good question. A little bit more background about Southern Wesleyan. We are affiliated with the Wesleyan denomination. It is a small Christian denomination that broke off from the Methodist Church back in the 1840s, 1848, I believe, over the issue of slavery. So the early Wesleyans believed that the Methodist Church was compromising on their position, that they were becoming too pro-slavery. And so because of that, and they believed that the bishops in the Methodist Church had too much power. So they split early there, and we've been known, we were one of the first evangelical denominations to ordain women, and one of the first to ordain women specifically into missions. So we've been known throughout our history for our social activism, but our theology is similar to Methodism. We also have the very first Wesleyan Methodist Church in the South, below the Mason-Dixon line. That was founded in 1848. It's called Freedom's Hill Chapel, and it was located in North Carolina, but the original building is actually on our campus. A gentleman by the name of Adam Crooks was from Pennsylvania, and he volunteered to come south. So we've got that on our campus. He was lynched once and he survived, poisoned a couple times and survived. We have the original door to the church. You can see the bullet holes in that, just the intense persecution that they endured. So that's a really powerful part of our campus that reminds us of our denominational history and what we stand for as a denomination and as a body of Christ. So. A little bit of information about athletics. I do know that our men's basketball team was on their way to being national champions last season, and then everything got canceled right before they were able to. They had just won the playoffs game, as I understand it. Our track and field team is very good. It's frequently known for its awards that students receive, championships that students receive as part of that. So that's a really popular program. Our men's soccer team is really good. Get the question a lot. We do not have football, and we do not have wrestling. So, but we don't have those two teams. But as I mentioned earlier, all our teams are NCAA Division II for athletics, and we just started a bass fishing club. So if you're into that, they've just started that and are really excited about that and looking to partner with organizations and people in the community to maybe help beat that up a little bit. Don't know if that'll become an athletic program. I know some schools don't have that as a college sport, but it is. We are surrounded by lakes here, tons of lakes. Hartwell, Kiwi, and Jocassee, if you're familiar at all with the layout of South Carolina. So there's lots of things to do outside: hiking, kayaking, boating, swimming, all sorts of things to do. We're about an hour from the mountains, so in an hour you can get to Hendersonville, North Carolina, which is known for their Apple Festival every fall. We are an hour from the Blue Ridge Parkway and entrance to the Blue Ridge Parkway, so it's pretty much a sweet spot for all sorts of things, outdoors events, and as far as like mountainous, or if you're into things like that. So any other questions or anything? I think I'm allowed just a few more minutes, about 10 more minutes or so. So if there's any other questions about our programs or about Southern Wesleyan or me, I'll answer questions about me if you'd like. But transferring, if there's any transfer students or anything like that, I'd be happy to answer anything. All right, well, I don't have anything else, so I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to present to everyone. And if you need anything at all, feel free to go back. I think they're going to make the recording available. Feel free to go back and send an email. We'll be happy to catch up with you or give us a call or anything like that. And yeah, since we're a small campus, all our admissions staff are personally invested in the students that they are helping to guide through the process. So seriously, please feel free to reach out, and we'd be happy to help with anything that we can. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. Once you close your window, there should be a quick 4-question survey that should appear. We would encourage you to fill that item out. Also, please remember to sign up for more sessions if you are interested in doing so via the CACRAO website at cacrao.org. The session will be recorded and made available shortly after it has been concluded on the CACRAO website. Take care and have a wonderful rest of the day.